This podcast is brought to you by the Heldridge Hotel, New Brunswick's only 4-star hotel and a preferred hotel of Rutgers football fans. The Heldridge helps you make the most of your game day weekend, providing premium accommodations in the cultural heart of downtown New Brunswick. Restaurants, bars, theaters, parks, museums, and more are only steps away. Whether you're traveling alone or with a large group, book your stay at the Heldridge and make the most of your game day weekend. Visit theheldridge.com today.
Again, we're live. Hello, everyone. Greetings from Jersey Mike's Arena, where Rutgers basketball opens the post-Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey era with a score of 81-53. That is as a result of a big second half, because the first half was a little closer than probably was comfortable. But Rutgers is 1-0 to start the season. And, this is probably what you wanted to see out of today. I guess, what were your thoughts of the game?
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. It was a little, there was a stretch there in the first half where my eyes were hurting a little bit. But I certainly was not surprised by that. I think that was kind of going to be the way this team played, the style of play. Ryder is, as expected, not the 300 Ken Palm team. They're going to play a lot of these 5 to start this season off, teams like this. So the competition was not great, but you're looking for some things from this team. You're looking for defensive intensity. You're looking for rebounding, which Steve Pikiell was not happy with, which is interesting. And you're looking to see which players are going to step up. If there's going to be someone who's going to take, that mantle of scoring, someone who's going to kind of take the lead. Got a couple candidates, at least, for that. Yeah,
if there are positives to take from here, if you want, you guys can leave your questions and comments in the comment section of this live video. We'll pull them up as we talk. I think I don't blame Steve Pikiell for being upset with the rebounding, because Ryder had 21 offensive rebounds on 47 missed shots, which is almost 50%. And they only had 19 second chance points because they stink.
Ryder was 2 for 20 from 3. So let's keep this in mind that they missed a lot. They missed a lot of shots, so they got a lot of some of that was long rebounds. It was just, one of those weird games.
Right. Well, that's the other side of the coin, right? They missed 18 of their 23-point shots. So I can understand why he's not exactly happy with the rebounding and the defense. The score is probably a little friendly for that. And it was probably a little too generous for the offense as well. There were a couple of guys, though, who had a good offensive day. Let's start there.
Yeah.
Tariq Francis, 20 points, 6 of 10 shooting, 4 of 8 on threes, which is very good. 4 or 5 on free throws. I was pretty impressed with him. I was surprised he was in the starting lineup, but he showed why he earned that trust. And I thought that was a really good start for his Rutgers career.
No question. Yes. And I wasn't surprised once I watched a little bit of the game. Certainly, I thought their best player is plus 30. No, plus minus kind of a stat that's been out of favor, but Steve Pikiell brought it up, and I understand. You can certainly see why. Dylan Grant, a guy I did expect to be the best player on the team, was one of the best players on the floor. 6 for 9, 17 points, 7 rebounds. Had a couple of really like pretty, like a dunk, steal and dunk. He was the one guy who was active, in the paint. I think if you're looking for things that concern you, they talked a lot about Dennis Badalau.
You got it right.
I've been working on it. 1 for 12 from the floor, and then 1 for 6 from 3. They thought he was going to be their best 3-point shooter. He had a lot of open looks, missed them. Okay, so that happens. We'll see if that's an aberration or if it's something, sign that things to come. I think we were both surprised that Harun was not in the starting lineup, and he only played 11 minutes. So it's a clear sign that there's some competition for time on this roster.
A few points on all that. Dylan Grant, to me, had the most encouraging play of the game, where it's the second half. He catches the ball on the left corner. Last year, he's going to take that shot. He's going to shoot a 3, even if it's a good shot or not. This time he dribbles between 2 defenders, gets open in the lane, dunks it. Steve Pikiell talked about wanting him to be more aggressive, and I think that if there's going to be a guy here, right? They've talked a lot about the depth and how many people there are on this team that can contribute, being their strength. I think for this team to be at its optimal, they need a guy, and that guy would be Dylan Grant, I think. Dylan Grant and Tariq Francis have the best shot of being the guy offensively, and I think that aggression was promising. Dennis Badalau will not shoot 1 of 12 every night, I don't think, mostly because if he keeps shooting this way, he's not going to take 12 shots. But I do think he will regress in a positive way, or progress, I guess is the opposite of regression to the mean. The next game, because he hit his first shot, it looked good, and then he misses 11 straight, which is almost as hard to do as making 11 straight.
Right.
And who was the third guy you brought up? Oh, Harin Zurno. We heard some buzz about him when he arrived. He was supposed to be kind of the leading guy, and has not had as great of an offseason as maybe people expected. But I think he'll have a role on this team. I think you would want to hope he has a role on this team, because if he doesn't, it's not a great sign. But it's hard to take away anything big picture from a game like this, positive or negative, because Ryder, as Jerry Carino pointed out, and as you looked up and fact checked during the game, is literally about to close down because they have so much debt.
It might be a stretch, but they are in some financial difficulty, which I did not know until seeing this game. Not good news for Rider University. One thing I think it is a negative that you can translate to anything. I think we've overlooked it so far. It's the absolute it's just terrible center play, and there's really no way to sugarcoat it. Emmanuel Bole has not gotten better, and this is the kind of game that a center, a Big Ten center, should expect to dominate the game. He was 0 for 5. He had 10 rebounds to his credit. Only played 19 minutes by fall. I mean, I think we thought, well, let's see if they compete for the job. Played the fewest minutes of all 13 players on the court. Okay, so what about Bryce Dortch? All right, so he was out there for 12 and a half, 12:51. Zeros across the board, maybe one rebound, one foul. There's just nothing. It's a black hole, the center position. And I don't know if they went small a little bit against this team, but you can't do that. The Big Ten, I don't know. They're, especially if you want to be the rebounding force, the defensive force. That's a concern.
I think you should have 10 rebounds if you're Emmanuel Bole in this game. I think that he met the expectation, right? It's not 10 rebounds sounds good. It's not.
Yeah, you're 0 for 5.
He scored more baskets for Ryder than he did for Rutgers, right? Which I think says it all.
That's rough.
I don't think anyone should be surprised. We saw him last year. We saw him the year before. He's 25 years old. There is no room for progression. This is who he is. So again, as I said before in our season preview, your only hope at center is if Byfall shows to be demonstrably better than Emmanuel Bole. Obviously, after today, it's hard to be optimistic about that.
Played 3.5 minutes against Ryder.
Correct. And Javonte Ware, who's the third center, played 7 minutes, but all of them were in the last 10 minutes or whatever when the game was already over, and did not look. I mean, not surprising. He's a true freshman. It's hard. He didn't look great, but that's to be expected.
At least I was curious to see him out there. It was a little something different.
Yes, look, the center spot is the biggest concern for the second season in a row after Cliff Omori left. So I'm not entirely surprised by it. Am I alarmed by it? Yes, I'm not entirely surprised by it, but it's going to be hard for them to go small in the Big Ten against some really, really good centers. Darren Buchanan might be built like a Russian tank. Steve Peichel really into his Soviet. He had a Romania reference in the Big Ten Media Day, and I was talking about Russian tanks. Must be studying the Soviet Union era of Eastern Europe. But he might be built like a Russian tank. He is not big enough, I don't think, to guard not Zach Eaton. There's no Zach Eaton in the Big Ten, but guys like Zach Eaton in the Big Ten.
Yes, that's gonna be tough. There's no way to put it. And the freshmen, I was hoping you would see one of those guys would be like, oh wow, like one of those guys would pop. Didn't happen. First game jitters. That's okay. I think not a lot of opportunities for them. Didn't see a lot from Chris Nwuli. Didn't see a lot from Lino Marks. They both played about 11 minutes. Caden Powers missed a couple of, had a couple of steals, missed a couple of shots, looked a little awkward. I thought he, just stuff that you thought, okay, look, I was hoping, my first impressions of those guys were not Big Ten contributors. Could be wrong. Still time to prove me wrong. Obviously, this is only 10 minutes of a game. Steve Peichel keeps on telling me you should come to practice. If you saw these guys practice, you'd have a different opinion. I didn't do it. I didn't do that. So this is my opinion based on what I saw tonight.
I do love that Steve Peichel invites us to all these practices while simultaneously saying multiple times during this offseason that he loved working in the darkness.
He's glad we're not there. You can come, but please don't come.
You can't really do both things at once, but I digress.
We have a question?
We do have a question from PC. It's more of a comment. The only thing I think we all wanted to see out of this game was to know that we wouldn't automatically be below a 500 team this year. There's definitely some reason to have optimism. I'm not quite sure what I saw today convinced me that they're not going to be below 500.
I'm not there yet either, especially in the Big Ten. That's just Yeah, I don't think I could have seen anything against Ryder that would, give me that impression.
I mean, the score could have been the same, but they could have been more dominant, right? I mean, you could have your center score more than 0 points. That would be a reason to be optimistic.
But still, I mean, it's Ryder. It's just like a hard, yeah. So I think we saw a lot of the things we wanted to see it's proof of concept here. That's what we're going to have to get. Like this, prove me that this team can be better than last year, that it's going to do these things, the dirty work, the defense, the teamwork, the chemistry, all of these things that last year's team lacked. Okay. I think, you can check some of those boxes again against Ryder. So,
well, that's going to be the case for the first 5 games of the year, where the only thing that matters really is not losing the game. And Rutgers didn't lose the game. But to your point, I'm not sure I agree with the part about the dirty work, because they gave up 19 or 21 offensive rebounds. That's got to be more than any game they gave up last year. So I just, even if they are long rebounds, even if they are clunky, I mean, I think that, some of them some of the rebounding was very not encouraging, especially if you spend the entire offseason since June emphasizing it and talking about how this team is better. They can be better. Again, we're not going to write an obituary after one game, and we're not going to praise them after one game. I would hope that the sample size after 5 games, they don't give up 21 offensive rebounds per game. Not really much else to talk about in this game. Again, it's Ryder. You should win by 30. They did what they had to do, which is a positive. I guess, who was your star of the game, the best player on the court?
I think the obvious one. I'll say Tariq Francis. Again, the concern with him was that he was going to be a high shot player for his points. 6 of 10, 20 points. Okay. You hit the 3-pointers. You were 4 for 8. You knocked down the open shots. You got to the line a few times. You were 4 for 5. You got 4 rebounds. Like, it's a complete game. You had 2 assists. Had the ball in your hands a lot. You played 30 minutes. And this is a level that obviously he's played at. Like NJIT, this is where he's comfortable in. He's done that. He's had the game a lot. I still want to see it I want to see it in Vegas. Show me that against Notre Dame. Show me that against Tennessee. And you'd start to feel, okay, like then maybe our thought about him was that his game would not translate to this level. Like, he was a good player at that level, that he would not necessarily be a good player. He's too small, maybe not physical enough, maybe too many shots. The analytics were not good on him. All right, this is one, this is proof of the opposite now. So I guess, again, let's see it is next 4 games, and let's see how it is in Vegas.
To your exact point, I'm not ready to say that the offseason criticism of when they picked him up was invalid quite yet, because of what he did against Ryder. The one positive I will take away from his performance: efficient, 6 of 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the big knocks on him was that he scored a lot of points at NJIT, but he was very inefficient in doing so, which was a fair criticism.
I thought he played well defensively too.
I thought he did fine defensively. Again,
both him and JaMychal Davis. JaMychal Davis was excellent defensively. Yeah. He played very well. So
again,
and he was 5 of 9, 15 points. He had a good game. 6 rebounds.
JaMychal Davis had a good game handling the ball, had a good game defensively. Again, Ryder had a kid named Kristupas Kezipizinkis, a Lithuanian kid whose name I can't pronounce, who I'm not quite sure how many Division I teams he would start at, and he played 16 minutes. So don't ask me to repeat the pronunciation. So that's a one-timer. I guess my player of the game is Dylan Grant. I think he has to be the guy. I thought he showed some sign, the guy, which is a positive sign for Rutgers. I don't have much.
Give me one guy you want to see more of.
Playing-wise or performance-wise?
Playing-wise. Who's the one guy would have liked to see blank?
Sure. I will take this opportunity to also bring up a question from our Discord. If we think that Darren Buchanan can translate to Big Ten play, I think blanket statement for the entire roster, nothing of what happened today can we say yes or no to translate to Big Ten play. What I will say is I would have liked to see more out of Darren Buchanan.
Give my answer to that question too. I'd like to see more out of him.
He had a nice second half. He poured on some points, the last 12 or so minutes, and showed some signs, some physicality getting to the rim.
That's a good question here from Kevin Fine. Clicking the show. Oh, how about that? There you go. Of the limited minute players, who are you curious to see more from in the next 4 games? All right, we mentioned limited 16 minutes though, so he didn't play a lot. I want to see more from him. I mean, I think we can't be done with by fall after 1 game. We have to. It's the only other option. We know what Ogbole is. I think you gotta have to see more from him. They've had now 6 months to figure that out. That would be another one that let's see what he does. But he looks lost.
I think you in one of these games where you just dominate a team like you did today, you got to throw Byfall on the court, sink or swim. right? Like you're not going to lose a game against the Rider because of by fall, unless the game is at a point where it's 4 minutes left and you're only up by 5 and it's uncomfortable. Otherwise, I think you got to play the guy 20 minutes just to know what you have.
He was -4 in 3 minutes and a 30-point win. That's tough.
It's not encouraging, but I mean, he plays 3 minutes and 27 seconds. That's a 4 trillion, 4 minutes, 0 stats. But that means he didn't foul, which is encouraging because we've heard all offseason that him and Obole are going to commit a ton of fouls. Obole got called for 1 and drew 3 fouls. I mean, that's a positive if you want to look at center. And I want to see more really quickly of Chris Dooley and Harun Zerno, who played 12 minutes and 11 minutes respectively. I don't think that their usage was exactly wrong tonight, but I would like to see more of them just to know what Rutgers have.
Yeah, well, more so the good question. Better than you thought, or exactly what you thought? Better than I thought. How's that sound? I thought I will say it was better than I thought. Certainly early on, I thought it was exactly what I thought early on. It got better, and it's because of that. It's because of the couple of guys we mentioned. Because Tariq Francis was better than I thought, and I thought. I think there's some pieces there that you could see the potential. You can see, all right. Yeah. That's the way to put it.
Exactly what I thought. This is exactly
exactly
what I thought. Because again, the first half was probably not, it was worse than I thought they would be, but that was closer to what I thought this would be. And the second half was encouraging, but again, when you're up 20 points with 15 minutes to go, it's Rider and they're exhausted, all their players, they have probably 8 players. They played 30 something minutes, right? They were exhausted and the game was over. So I am excited to have at the end of these 5 tomato can games, a decent sample size against similar opponents to kind of analyze and look at how they're looking up against heading to Vegas. Again, the best thing I can say about this game is they didn't lose.
There you go. Absolutely. Oh, that's thing I said. Kevin Bannon was in the house. How do you like that?
A little throwback to the
Yes, looking good behind the. I wonder if people notice that sitting behind the Rider bench.
I covered this team. I wasn't around, obviously, for the Kevin Bannon era.
You weren't alive for the Kevin Bannon.
I was alive. I was probably 3 years old when he got fired for the naked free throw scandal. But I did not recognize him. I would not have known if you and Jerry Carino did not point him out. But interesting. I would love to hear what he thinks about where the program is.
I'm gonna ask him.
You'll find him somewhere.
I will.
Otherwise, I guess we have no more questions unless someone wants to drop in a last second question in here. Do you have any final thoughts, Steve? For you?
No, I don't. It's the crowd was pretty good for 6 o'clock. Clearly the fan base hasn't given up on them. I think that's clear. It's just kind of a different vibe. I'm a big picture thing, like coming out. There's so much energy. Before the first Dylan and Ace game, the first Dylan game, I guess Ace wasn't in I'm thinking about that. So much energy before that game, like even the video presentation was different. Everything was very subdued. I think it's exactly the way Steve Pikiell liked it. He said he didn't like the way he played. I think he's got their attention. Okay, there you go. This is check the first box.
I agree. Really quickly, I'm going to ask you the starting 5 one by one. Ask for a grade on how they played, and if you have a comment, keep it to one sentence. Let's do it. Wrap this up here. All right, let's start with Dylan Grant.
Dylan Grant, I give him a B+ because I grade him pretty high, and I like the way he exploded to the basket.
I'll give him an A. I thought he kind of started off a little slow, but showed some encouraging signs in the second half. So I'll give him an A. Dennis Badalo.
I'm going to give him a B, and I know he did not shoot well, but I did think he was pretty active around the basket and did little things well. See the pass okay?
I'll give him a C. I think you can't give him a passing grade with 1 of 12 shooting, but I agree with you that I didn't think his defense was particularly bad, which was a concern of mine, and I thought he did all the other things besides scoring.
7 rebounds, yep.
How many assists did he have? I didn't even see. Could be better. I think his passing is probably one of his best attributes. So 1 to 2 assist to turnover ratio isn't great, but I'll give him a C. I'm pretty comfortable with that. Emmanuel Bole. D because he got 10 rebounds. Yeah. If he didn't get the 10 rebounds, I think it'd be a big fat F, especially considering the opponent. Tariq Francis.
Hey, I think we talked about him already. Yeah.
Give him an A. I think it's hard to ask for more of him. Jermichael Davis.
A as well. I thought he played, but again, handled the ball the entire game, played well defensively, 15 points. That's what you want from him.
I give him an A, and
0
I think
turnovers.
The intangible of he seems to be comfortable in this taking on a bigger role this year.
Yeah, the leadership too. I think you could see some from him in a way that this team's going to need someone like that. And he talked about it after the game. He's kind of funny, like, man, I feel like I've been here forever. Kind of like you had, based on college basketball right now, you have been forever. Let me tell you something, kid. Back in the day, we had guys here who were literally here forever, like 5 years. These Caleb McConnell and some of these dudes. So
he's following a similar path in that he's been 2 years here, and he started a little bit of his freshman year, but that was kind of out of necessity. Last year, he played obviously a backseat role to the Stars and his best friend Ace Bailey, and now he's here. He's put in his time, he's paid his dues, and now he's a starting point guard, at least for now, of a Big Ten team. And I think he's relishing the opportunity, and he thinks that it's something he's earned. And so far, I think he's proving that right. Anybody else that we didn't grade that you want to give a specific grade to either way?
No. I mean, Steve Michael. I guess Steve Michael a grade.
That's an excellent point. I'd give him a B+. They won the game handily. He played 13 guys, essentially everyone on the roster that he could play. I thought, maybe a little less of the starters. Rick Francis, did he have to play 30 minutes? Did Joe Michael have to play 28 minutes? Maybe give Lino Mark and maybe Caden Powers more time on the ball. But otherwise, I mean, we're nitpicking here. I thought.
I'm going to give him a B just because I wanted more like Russian imagery. I needed some more quotes about Eastern European things to make that really what we needed. He just didn't give me enough of that.
I hope he goes through the entire Republic.
What did we come up with? That Badalau is leading the nation in Abe lives. Abe lives.
That was according to Wikipedia what the halo over his A's are, which were on the jerseys.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the jerseys?
Understated like everything else. Very, very basic.
A little hard to read the Rutgers from the press box, I got to say. The font was a little hard to read, but I'm not a big uniform guy, so I'm not.
Ooh, you're not going to like my story tomorrow then.
Oh, what a tease.
Got a story? Yeah, so we got a story on uniforms tomorrow. I'm very excited.
I'm very excited to read your inbox. I'm not going to read your inbox, but you hear about your inbox because I think it'll be a story that people are going to have a little fun with.
Maybe. We'll see.
That's it. So unless you guys have something else in the next 5 seconds, we are done. Signing out from Jersey Mike's Arena, the first of 31 games this year. We will try to do a live stream after every game. Hopefully, a lot of you guys participate and ask questions. I'll be solo for most of them. Steve is making
back. I kid. I'll be back eventually.
Rutgers is going to have to win a lot of games to get Steve fully back in the building. But we'll try to be as active as we can this year. And the more active you guys are with us, we would appreciate it. So for Steve Politi, I'm Brian Fonseca. This is the Rutgers Rant, and we'll see you on Monday. That's not true. We'll see them on.
Men need a store that has the right thing for their thing, like a Kenneth Cole suit made with Showflex fabric to keep them cool at their cousin-in-law's third wedding in the middle of July. Whatever the thing, Men's Warehouse has the clothes for it. Love the way you look, Men's Warehouse.